At first, when I crossed the finish line, I didn't, it was like just dreams came true, like when I was a kid, I was dreaming about that, winning the world title. All my family, everybody, all the team was really happy, and on the end, everything came together and we won the title.
Jean, second team is world champion. This is my life.
In 2015, a very special motorcycle racer won the FIM MX2 World Championship and launched his name into international reckoning.
I started riding motocross with two and a half years, and my dreams, my goal was to be the best in the world, and yeah, we are close to that.
Well, if you ain't got money and you ain't got love.
At 19 years of age, HRC's Tim Gajser then declared himself set to tackle the very best in the world.
And you ain't got love.
Actually, the plan was when we win the MX2 title, we switched to MXGP, to the primary class.
To be honest, I took a fair bit of criticism that we'd moved him up too soon, Why put this kid on a 450, It's too soon, he could have won some more 250 titles. Absolutely different rider on the 450. Gets it in the meat of the power, rides it smoothly.
Last year and past years I was always practicing with the 450, but now when we switched to MXGP for full time, I get the factory part, so it's completely different bike from the standard bike. Coming into the season, and preparation and everything, I didn't feel any pressure. I was just so happy to move to the 450 because I think the bike suits me better than 250. I really like powerful bike, like smooth bike. I was really can't wait for the season that starts.
Get yourself over.
Set off the year in Sardinia with all the testing and that, but we know Tim had been riding the 450 and would like to ride one as soon as possible. Then when we went to Sardinia, you can see, wow, he gels with that bike very nicely.
When we went to Sardinia, we've been testing together with all the HRC riders. We train a lot together, we test a lot together, but not just with Polen and Bobby. Actually, very good GP rider was there, like Roman, like Tony. For sure, you compare the lap times and you see where you belong.
To get yourself over. To get yourself over.
And immediately we saw that I have speed, just I need to bring that from training to the races.
The longest Grand Prix season on record launched in the warm evening air of Lusail in Qatar, where Gajser would already begin to turn the temperature up in MXGP.
I didn't feel any pressure. I was rookie in that class. For me, it was just to go out there and have fun, and the goal was for sure to ride like I was riding on the practice, because on the practice I make a good lap times, I was consistent and everything.
His first race and first win was a show of domination quite unlike anything anyone had seen or expected.
Going into Qatar, a surprise, and I think it's a surprise for everybody in the paddock.
In Sardinia, he scored the best lap time, so there we saw that he had the speed to stay with the top riders. And then in Qatar, obviously, everybody saw that he could win races.
Leading the race in MXGP for the first time, it was like, I was really excited, but at the same time, I tried to be focused, because I was racing with the best guys in the world, like with the legends. I think nobody expects from me to come there and immediately fight for the win, Yeah, to beat everyone over there was amazing.
While we expected at the beginning to make a few podiums the first season in MXGP, Then after Qatar, we changed our mind and we expected a little bit more.
The potent shot of confidence from his debut opened up the vein.
In MXGP, all eyes were on the big hitters as they charged down to turn 1.
Gajser embarked on a run of form and results that would deliver 4 wins from the first 6 races, and a remarkable streak of consecutive podium finishes in various conditions and circuits. Gajser brought intensity and verve to MXGP and signalled that a new generation was firmly on the rise. A brave and attacking style, and the will never to give up were the bedrocks of his speed and authority.
From then on, we start realizing that, that on the beginning it was not just a luck that I win one race, one Grand Prix, first Grand Prix in Qatar. I have a lot of fun, and I think that was the key to success. Time practice actually was when I make that really nice crop. Like touching with the handlebar, touching with the foot peg, with the legs. Many people saw that post, and I think around 10 million people already saw that one.
As a US guy, just looking at what you can find on the internet, man, that guy can scrub. It's like you watch his style and it's just so amazing. He looks so fluid on the bike, and he's obviously influenced by US motocross with his riding style.
Pretty crazy that a rookie can go out at the speed because, in the 450 class, these guys, have been there for a while, so they're very smart the way they race and ride, and for him just to jump right in and get hole shots and not be scared to compete with those guys and mentally strong and just know that he can go out and win is pretty neat.
It's been since Jean-Michel Vail that someone got that quickly, got up to speed, and I imagine that he's going to be a handful next year too.
In Gajser, who grabbed the foxhole shot.
It's not easy for everybody to go from 250 to 450, but Tim, the more you give power to him, the more he can show his talent, and he can control the throttle so well. Then with the 450, you can see what he's able to do.
As a rider, you never wish to someone to get injured, not your rivals and nobody actually who ride. Roman get injured. I said to myself, it's still long season, everything could still happen, That was the point when we start a little bit thinking. Still, the goal was to go in the race, have fun. That's it.
The close-knit Gajser family have risen swiftly and emphatically through the sport, with success and spoils at almost every level. The strong bond between them back home in Slovenia comes from deep roots and a poignant connection to motocross.
The low points, actually, I don't know if I ever talk about that.
Family, they've had difficult times in the past. I don't know whether they really want me to talk about it, but there's been tragedy within the family.
It starts everything with actually tragedy, with that my dad had it. He went through this time, when he jumped on his son, and his son passed away, and everything what came after that, and all the story. It makes you that you believe because it's true, all the time when I go on the bike, and before every race, I pray because I know that he's always with me. Jean, Jean was his name, and he's always as an angel. You have to go through that. You have to be hard. Focus on that someone was pushing him forward. 1 year after I was born, and it feels like to him that he got back his son. Then when I was born, my dad was racing, and myself, I was always with him. He saw that I have the talent. We was not rich family, you know. My father, he gave everything to buy the bikes for me, you know.
We've seen a lot of father and son combinations over the years. I would say Bogo and Tim are typical of that because they've had to come from nothing, where they've had literally, and I mean nothing at all, which makes them appreciative, you know.
My mom didn't have the job, my dad didn't have the job, so we were, you know, like just from motocross, living from motocross. And you know, in 2014, when we signed with Honda, you know, then we know that if I do well, that we could live normally, you know, like, and everything, we could live from motocross. Many years after, you know, all that sacrifices and everything what my dad have to do and what my family goes through, on the end, you know, like, everything pays off. I'm really glad that I have family like that, and we are really close together. And yeah, that's it. That's key to success. I was fighting with the bike, didn't think about the lines. I was just riding too hard for myself. Yeah, really disappointed because I know that the podium streak is gonna be finished. It happens now twice in a row.
You wouldn't want to say, yeah, championships in the bag or anything like that at all.